we are literally going to create money over here. As you are drinking drink from your cup, there's literally going to be some kind of music playing from that system down there. Oh my god, I just heard this is a whip. In the past, they didn't used to have speakers, so the best option for them, they used to put money in these chests that we are seeing. I've seen a computer from the 1990s, one of the old Roman emperors. Unfortunately, it's forbidden to touch anything. Hello guys, welcome to this video. So I'm here at the Adapazarı Trade Museum. I'm so excited because I've actually read a lot about the place, and I heard that there are actually so many coins, old notes, old stamps, old checks and stuff like that. So I'm just so excited to go inside and go and show you guys all of these. So now let's make our entrance into the place. I've actually entered already, and I have a guide here. Merhaba. Hello. Yes, so he's going to show me around the place and explain everything. There's actually so much. I'm already seeing these here. I don't even really know what they are. The Lydia people are actually those who founded this money system around the 6th century BC. I'm even seeing it here. So these are like photos of those kind of coins that were minted at that time. Getting money to use for trade was very important because before that, the only way to do that or to trade stuff was by the barter trade, where let's say someone is having wheat and another person is having honey. So they will have to exchange these in order to have each other's products. But then this kind of system actually used to reduce the reach or reduce the amount of things someone may want to buy or may have to buy. So because of that, money had to be introduced. Now over here, he showed me some coins, and he said that these are Roman coins, literally dating from the Roman times. So this is how the coin looks like. I can't believe I'm seeing something from 2000 years ago. Here's another one, another one. As you see over here, actually one of the faces of one of the old Roman emperors has been printed on it. It's because he wanted to show his power to the people who were living outside the main cities or the main parts of his empire. Yes, he wanted to show them that he's actually in charge. So because of that, all the Roman emperors, or most of them, used to print their faces on coins. So here's the face of another Roman emperor, and there's another one, but this one has been turned upside down. I was just informed that we are literally going to create money over here. Like, it's crazy. So these are the tools that the first people who invented money used to create money. So at the end of the video, we are going to see this. So we've come to the scale section. There are various kinds of scales. There's the postal scale over here, the jewelry scale, the hand scale, the jewelry scale, another one, another postal scale, and another one to here. And there's still a scale here. So as you can see, these are like the very, very old ones. Even this one, I will not be surprised if it has been used for like probably 1,000 years or something. These are also various weights. Let's say we want to measure a certain amount of gold, or maybe let's say some precious mineral or stone. This weight to be used to take the measurements in the past. But now, of course, we've gotten much better technology to weigh stuff. Various stamps from, I think, different times in the past in the history of Turkey. These were used during the Ottoman Empire. The coins of the Republic of Turkey. So after Turkey became a republic state, these coins were actually used. Now over here we can see some other coins. Yes, these coins were also used during the Republic era, but then they were still written in the Ottoman language. The Ottomans used to use Arabic language. Sometimes after they gained their republic nature, they started using the Latin letters. So because they started using the Latin letters, as you can see, the newer currencies actually have Latin letters on them. It's not too clear, but then that's how it is. Probably you can zoom in and you'd see it. But over here, as you can see, there's some Arabic written on the coin. Monies from so many years ago. Probably some of you may be able to identify them. I don't really know much of these old currencies. Some old typewriters and calculators and even computers. I can't believe this. I'm seeing a computer from the 1990s. I've never seen typewriters in real life before. Never in my life. That's crazy. What was happening in the Ottoman Empire times. So for those who want to read it, there's some more information being given here, so you can continue reading. We move to this section which explains what happened, how this bank came to be. So in fact, this building that we are in used to be a bank. It was created in 1913. These 13 men that are being shown up here, actually there are only about 11 of them whose pictures have been shown, and then the names of the last two have been written over here. So those men that I just showed were actually worried as to why all the banks in Turkey were all from foreign investors, or they had some involvement of foreign investors in them. So they decided to come together and create a bank that was only for the people. Yes, that was only funded by the people. Everything was by the people. And that was how this bank came into life. So in fact, I heard that the total amount that they had in the beginning was 13,629 Turkish liras. At that time, it was a lot of money. Maybe not now. A share someone had bought from the bank.
Milletler milli adetlerini, milli müesseselerini sevmek ve korumakla yaşarlar.
There was a lot of Somali Turkish. In fact, Somali Turkish is not too different from the Turkish right now. The only difference is the letters that are being used. So, in the Osmanli or the Ottoman Turkish, as you can see, it's written in Arabic letters, but then the current Turkish is written in Latin letters. Over here, too, we are seeing some checks, some certificates, very, very old ones. I'm sure these ones are like even dating to the Ottoman Empire times. That was like before the 1920s, because as you can see, it's written in the Osmanli Turkish. Just look at that, keychains from those very, very old times. A watch from 1970. Is it actually working? Let me check. Okay, unfortunately it's not working, but then it's cool to actually see all these existed and have existed till this time. We've come to see different notes from the very old times. We are seeing the Ottoman era banknote replica. Interesting. Over here too, we are seeing what the Republic era banknote replica. So these are like from very, very old times. I think this one is after they adopted the Latin letters, because I can see Latin letters here. But then as you can see over here somewhere, yes, these ones were actually created before they threw away the Ottoman letters, or I can see the Arabic letters. That's very interesting. These ones are probably from the Ottoman era. Let me see. Yes, that's what's saying. It's from the Ottoman era. This one is still from the Ottoman era. This one is also from the Ottoman era. So this one is from the Republic era. This one is also from the Ottoman era. As you can see, there are so many Arabic writings on them. And this one, what does it say? Yes, from the Ottoman era. This is a radio from the 1970s, and this is also a black and white TV. It's from the 1960s. Yes, a calculator. Interesting. I'm wondering how it works, but unfortunately, it's forbidden to touch anything. Projector from the 1960s. We see a black and white TV, by a much smaller one compared to the one we previously saw. And then there's this camera too from the 1970s. Wow, it still looks kind of very similar to the cameras we use in these days. I was expecting much less. Cassette player, probably from the 1970s too. Okay, I can even see it from here that this one is from the 1971 silent film projector. And then we have another one too from 1973. This is a miniature version of the current structure that we are in. They used to put money in these chests that we are seeing. This is the oldest chest that we are having over here. It's even from the Ottoman times. These are also other representations. This one is from at least 130 years ago. An antique telephone, wow, from the 1910s. There's even a reception bell. There's a teller window. And by the way, it's not only the teller window, even the glass that we are seeing actually is from the time that this building used to be a bank. That's very interesting. And there's also a thermometer dating from the time that this place was a bank. Monitor from the 1990s as written. There's a typewriter from 1950s, a typewriter from 1960s, from 1990, a telephone fax. By the way, this is the first time I've seen a fax. I never knew it looked like this. Wow, interesting. Antique telephone from the 1940s, a mechanical phone guide. Interesting. I don't even know what that is, but anyways, a reel tape from 1960s, a calculator from the 1960s, and this what? A briefcase and a cash ledger, an electronic calculator from the 1970s. Interesting. A typewriter from 1950s. Now we are having money boxes over here. So with these money boxes, what used to happen is that people would come and take these money boxes from the bank. They'll take it home and go and fill it with money, but then they leave the keys to the bank. So whenever they need the money, or let's say whenever the box becomes full, then they come to the bank and then they get the key and open it to take their money. That's a very interesting way of saving money at those times. They didn't used to have like the electronic system that we have now. So of course, I think this is like the best method they could come up with. So beautiful. Oh my god, I just heard this is a whip. So it used to be used on horses to make them ride faster. And over here, we're having a wool spinning stick, and then we're having what? A powder flask over here. A very old cane, and this is literally a vase from I don't know. It's reminding me of those kind of ancient Roman vases. He mentioned that the 1929 we see on the screen here is actually the date that it was found, but it's not the date that was created. Now, there's so much interesting stuff about all these things that we are seeing here. They may look simple, but just look at that cup over there. He mentioned that beneath it is some kind of music playing system. Yes, so he said if you adjust it as you are drinking drink from your cup, there's literally going to be some kind of music playing from that system down there. Very, very interesting, guys. In the past, the bigger the cutlery, the more rich and the more noble you are, or the more noble the family you come from is. So that's why they used to be huge at that time. And over here we are seeing what cups. So this actually made from China. It's interesting to me that the company that I did my internship with is the one that created these things. Turkey has been known to be creating trains and sending them to other countries, so they decided to also add this representation as a way of showing that trains are involved in their trade world. Soap stamps. So these were stamps used in like very, very old times to stamp soap. So as you can see, these are like very, very old soap from I don't know, like probably hundreds of years ago. Now we come here to the coal iron. I think I've actually seen some in Ghana before. Oh my god. So these are the pens that they used to use in those times. So they'll put the ink inside that container and then they'll use this pen. It looks like a bamboo stick. They'll dip this bamboo stick or pen, I should say, inside the ink and then they'll use it to write. The pot over here. We're having a sickle, so I heard they used to use these for harvesting wheat and stuff. We're having a sandal here. He said it's completely made from buffalo skin, a horseshoe set, horseshoe making set. So we have a whetstone. So a whetstone is basically a stone for sharpening tools. A wooden spinning wheel. So it's used for making clothes. Over here too, we are seeing what a knitting machine. So this is a more modernized version of the wooden spinning wheel. This is an oil dispenser right here, a wool spinning wheel, probably both of them. And these are some carpentry tools from the past during the Ottoman Empire times. A hand scale, oh my god, this is so interesting. It actually makes sense to me how the mechanism works, thinking from a mechanical engineer point of view. Arshin, a unit of length. This is a millstone, probably used to make flour for their breads in the past. If I was told how they used to make Qurans in the past, I used to wonder how they used to print these things. So basically, they used to carve these writings in stone, yes, and then they'll put ink on the stone, and then they put the page on that stone covered with ink so that the writings get stuck on the page. Very, very old works from the past. Adapazarı actually means island market. So the reason why it's called island market or Adapazarı is that in the past there used to be a river at one side and a river at the other side of Adapazarı. So because of that, it used to be seen as a kind of island. And because this piece of land was found on the Silk Road, for those who know about history, the Silk Road was actually like one of the most popular trade routes in the past, like those times. I think the 1400s and stuff like that. So you can read about that. So because it used to be also found on the trade route, so it was called the island market, basically depicting what the place actually is. Now, there's another important information. Many of the districts are named after things that were being made over there. So, for example, there's a place called Yajilar, basically means those who produce oil. So, meaning that oil was being produced there. And if you go to other places too, it's named after the things that were produced over there. Oh my god, so this is literally Uzun Charshi Adapazarı from the 1930s. I can't believe this. Like, wow, there's a lot of difference in just like how many years? I think 90 years, so much difference. So my guide just explained the journey from caterpillar to silk. Over here we are seeing the larvae here and then the various stages it goes through before it actually becomes silk in the end. Europe goes through to Turkey, the current Turkey, yes, that's the Bosphorus by the way, goes through even Sakarya somewhere there, all the way to the Far East. The story of Tanyeri dry coffee. So these are tools that were used to produce coffee in the past. The coffee grinder, there's a jug, there's what a coffee pot over here, coffee cooker, coffee roaster, coffee cup, coffee box, so much stuff, guys. We're having a set of measuring cups, we're having some gas stoves and lamps from the past. That's interesting. First time I'm seeing them this close. We're having a water pot over here, And then there's this resonator. Now, as you can see, there's a difference. This one has a flat bottom, the other one has an oval bottom. Now, it has an oval bottom because it's not actually used for storing water or storing anything. It's actually used as a resonator, as written here. So a resonator is basically acting like a speaker. In the past, they didn't used to have speakers, so the best option for them was something like a resonator to make voices, be louder. So, for example, in the mosques, they used to place these resonators at various points to echo their voices. Lastly, we have some shoemaking tools. These were tools that were being used in the past for household stuff. Over here, we see a yogurt container, we see pepper paste machine. Not only for peppers, he also mentioned that it was used for tomatoes too. There's a nut grinder over here, there's some water pot here, and the frying pan. He said it's had multiple uses in the past. Yeah, it could be used for frying, but it could also be used for storing things like fruits. This photo here shows different craftsmen. So from here we can see that these guys were actually in the sales of fabric. These guys were in the sales of pots. As you can see, they are making some pottery. Over here we see these guys, they were in the sale of candlesticks. These guys were in the sale of shoes. So as you can see, they are holding shoes. So guys, we've come to the exciting part where we are going to create our own money. I'm just so excited. I can't believe this. There's probably this kind of already made pattern that we are going to put on that money. He told me that the coin is made from lead, which is soft. So that's why it's easier to create money on that. I'm just so excited. Let's go and see what happens. So guys, we are now coming to see how the money is going to be made. Okay. Wow, that was very loud. So as we see here, the pattern that was found on those pieces has been placed to this coin. We see a crescent and a star, and over here too we see the bank. Oh, okay, thank you. So he said it's mine. so so guys, as you saw, it wasn't just a museum for showing old money notes and old coins, but also it showed a lot of history. I learned so much from the museum. And thank you all very much for embarking on this journey with me. It was actually a very fun one. It's actually fun that I also got to share my experience with you guys. Keep supporting, comment, like, subscribe, do anything to just support, to share with your friends. Thank you once again, and see you in the next videos. I have so much ideas coming up. Goodbye for now.